Right now, a late run comes up just short as the Badgers' trip to the Big Ten tournament in Chicago is a short one. Their NCAA tournament hopes all but over.
Plus, all in the name of affordable housing, how Madison buildings in the downtown could soon be reaching for the sky a little more.
And on this International Women's Day, how Fitchburg is honoring the groundbreaking achievements of Frances Huntley Cooper, Wisconsin's first black mayor. That's all coming up on News 3 Now at 10. Thank you for joining us tonight. You are going to want to hold off on putting away your shovels and snow blowers.
Yeah, by this time tomorrow, it will be snowing, with the entire viewing area expected to see some accumulation, and that is prompting 2 alert days tomorrow as well as Friday. So how much snow are we expecting, and when will it get here? Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti with our first warn forecast.
Eric, we've been watching the storm really for about the last 3 or 4 days, and knowing that there will be some accumulation, that's why we have the first warn weather alert days in the forecast. But let's start out by taking a look at the latest information that we have here. We really haven't changed our thinking on the alert day itself, mainly from late tomorrow afternoon through early Friday morning seems to be the time period where most of the accumulating snow will be. Right now we're thinking about a 6 to 9 inch snowfall generally through southern Wisconsin. There might be some areas, perhaps a little bit more than that if there's a band of heavier snow that sets up, but all of southern Wisconsin is going to be affected by this storm. Already winter storm warnings in effect for the western third of our viewing area, west of Platteville to Lone Rock to Wisconsin Dells line. That starts noon or 3 p.m. tomorrow and runs through 6 a.m. on Friday morning. East of there, including Madison, Milwaukee, winter weather advisories, again, from mid-afternoon on Thursday through early on Friday morning. Are thinking about the same, about 6 or more inches of snow in a band through much of southern Wisconsin. We're kind of on the bullseye of this with lesser amounts of 3 to 6 inches through central Wisconsin and to the south across northern Illinois. Now, high-resolution radar shows that it should be snowing right now, but it isn't, because if you take a look at visibilities, they're at or above 10 miles. So this precipitation is staying aloft. The air near the ground is dry, but once it moistens up, we'll start to see that snow accumulate, and that will happen tomorrow. Not tonight, though, just cloudy skies, low temperature at 32, but later on I'll take a look at the timing on the snow and eventually how much we'll end up when all is said and done. Just a few minutes.
Thank you, Gary. And several local communities already declaring snow emergencies ahead of this storm. That includes Beloit, Blue Mounds, McFarland, and Janesville. There will be more added as that snow begins to fall, so be sure to stay up to date on all things winter storm related with our free Channel 3000 weather app. Next at 10, it was a difficult night for the Badger men's basketball team and their fans.
First night of the Big Ten tournament, the Badgers unable to advance to round 2. We have team coverage. Andrew Banstra is down in Chicago outside United Center, but first let's see what exactly went wrong tonight with sports director Zach Henley. Zach?
Yeah, definitely it was a tale of 2 halves for Wisconsin. First 20 minutes, they couldn't buy a bucket, scoring just 18 points, and they actually trailed by 18 at halftime. In fact, they were down by as many as 27 in the second half, but then Tyler Wall took the game over. First, he goes to work in the paint and gets 3 the old-fashioned way, and the lead is down to 16. Then later, it's Wall again, this time gonna bank home the triple. He scored 17 of his game-high 19 points in the second half. Badgers got as close as 4, but that's the closest they would get. Wisconsin falls 65-57, so now they're gonna have to sweat it out on Selection Sunday to see if they'll get in the NCAA tournament. Andrew Banstra nearly saw the comeback of the year. He joins us live from Chicago, and Andrew, easy to guess the mood of the fans after this one.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You know, after that first half, I wouldn't have thought fans would be so happy or willing to talk. The second half, though, brought some real excitement. That game, though, really summed up Wisconsin's season, though, didn't it? You felt like you were so close, but you really weren't, and that is really how the game ended. Now, Ohio State, like you said, led by as much as 27. Wisconsin has a 19-2 run that turns everything around. They come climbing back and aren't able to get it in the last minute. But that comeback may have never happened if it wasn't for the fans. Those Badger fans overpowered Buckeyes fans in both noise and numbers, playing a massive part in that comeback.
Badgers are kind of good at that. They really get our hopes up, and then kind of at the end there, they did make a comeback. We were really excited about that, but unfortunately they couldn't bring it all the way home.
It was the entire season. I'm on a group chat with a bunch of my buddies, and we feel like every game is the same. It's down to the last possession, and unfortunately a lot of those we lost this year.
And it's not just them thinking that either. It's true. They played in 20 games this year, decided by 5 or less points, one of the highest marks in all of college basketball. You knew the Badgers were going to make a run at some point in that game. They did, and it just wasn't quite enough, very much like their season. For now in Chicago at the United Center, Andrew Banstra for News 3 Now.
All right, Andrew, thank you, and our thanks to Zach Hanley as well. Next at 10, city leaders in Fitchburg tonight laying out some proposed design improvements for a stretch of South Saline Road. 2 months after a local educator was killed while on a walk along that road. The plans call for lowering parts of the road for better sight lines and adding a roundabout nearby. We have a breakdown of those additional safety plans at channel3000.com.
A city council vote last night means buildings in downtown Madison could soon be getting taller. The council approved an amendment to the existing zoning rules that would allow buildings with affordable housing to squeeze in more bonus floors as long as the whole building is still under the height limit in feet. District 2 Alder Patrick Heck says he hopes allowing developments to add more units will incentivize them to bring more affordable living options downtown. Also stemming from last night's meeting, some non-residential buildings in the city will have to go through tune-ups to meet new energy benchmarks. The program is part of the city's goal to reach a net zero level of carbon emissions by the year 2050. The mayor's office says this new program could cut carbon emissions by 91,000 tons per year, the equivalent of 18,000 fewer cars on the road.
Madison police say a student was hit with a baseball bat in a bathroom at Vel Phillips Memorial High School today. According to an email to parents, happened about 8 this morning. The school staff was immediately able to identify the students involved. Now, the student who was hit allegedly didn't have any visible injuries. A district spokesperson says the attacker will face disciplinary action. 2 Madison teenagers, just 13 and 15 years old, arrested in connection with a string of burglaries and car thefts. The 2 boys were arrested yesterday at an apartment complex on Milwaukee Street. Police say the 13-year-old was reportedly armed with this loaded handgun at the time he was arrested. They say the 15-year-old was also involved in another car theft incident last year after crashing a stolen vehicle on the Beltline and running off into a nearby movie theater.
New tonight at 10, the United States Army is rebranding as it struggles to hit its recruitment goals. The service released 2 new commercials today. One is narrated by Marvel actor Jonathan Majors. He takes viewers through generations of the Army from the Revolution to World War II. The other video focuses on non-combat opportunities like careers in science and technology. Republican House Speaker Kevin McCarthy says he doesn't plan on visiting Ukraine after receiving an invitation from Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. Zelensky said he would like McCarthy to see the situation on the ground firsthand as some in the Republican Party debate whether the U.S. should continue sending aid to Ukraine.
America's intelligence agencies work around the clock every day to keep the country safe from dangers from all around the world. Most of the time, the public never hears about the threats they face. But today, the heads of the intelligence agency spoke publicly while testifying before Congress. Nicole D'Antonio has more details from Capitol Hill.
Lawmakers had plenty of questions for U.S. intelligence chiefs about the dangers Americans face from countries around the world, but especially the threats coming from China.
Needless to say, the People's Republic of China, which is increasingly challenging the United States economically, technologically, politically, and militarily around the world, remains our unparalleled priority.
The intelligence agency leaders testified about threats from China, including the infamous spy balloons, cyber threats, and even the intelligence report, which laid out the possibility that the coronavirus originated at a lab in Wuhan.
The FBI has long assessed, going all the way back to the summer of 2021, that the origin of the pandemic was likely a lab incident in Wuhan.
Lawmakers also wanted to hear the latest on the possibility that China could provide weapons to Russia to help in its invasion of Ukraine.
During the past year, the threat has been additionally complicated by a deepening collaboration with Russia, which also remains an area, obviously, of intense focus for the intelligence community.
While weapons of war remain a concern, cyber threats pose new challenges that governments are still struggling to catch up with.
New technologies, particularly in the field of AI and biotechnologies, are being developed and proliferating faster than companies and governments are able to shape norms governing their use.
Lawmakers also laid out their concern that user data from TikTok gives China a popular weapon in the cyber war. Nicole D'Antonio, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Other areas of concern in the intelligence report include nuclear threats from North Korea and Iran, The report also indicates climate change is still a real threat to national security.
Also on Capitol Hill today, the Senate Commerce Committee questioned the acting head of the Federal Aviation Administration about safety in the skies. This after a series of close calls has shaken the airline industry from near misses to in-flight chaos. As acting head of the Federal Aviation Administration, Billy Nolan is overseeing agency reforms, including hiring about 300 employees to its safety office.
Train derailments also continue to be a problem. Today, another train off the tracks, this one in rural West Virginia. 3 crew members of the CSX freight train were injured. At least 1 locomotive and 1 fuel tank fell into a nearby river, spilling diesel fuel into the water. Emergency management says a rock slide caused this derailment. And in Ohio, a wider range of chemicals have been discovered in the contaminated waterways near the site of the hazardous train derailment last month. Researchers from Purdue University sampled water from 2 contaminated creeks in East Palestine, Ohio. They say they identified more contaminants than reported by the state's EPA.
Crews in Orlando's Icon Park have started dismantling the amusement park ride where a 14-year-old boy fell to his death last year. Tyree Sampson died on March 24th after boarding the 430-foot free fall tower. His autopsy confirmed that he weighed more than the recommended maximum rider weight.
Now an update to a story we first told you about last night. Relativity, a 7-year-old startup company, scrubbed its attempt to send what it's calling the world's first 3D printed rocket to orbit today. It was to launch from Cape Canaveral. The countdown was put on hold several times during the afternoon launch window as the team was troubleshooting various issues before the company finally announced the launch, for now, has been scrubbed. On this International Women's Day, Fitchburg is honoring a woman who has continued opening doors since leading the city as the first black mayor in the state of Wisconsin back in the 1990s.
Frances Huntley Cooper has had a long storied career since then, and today Fitchburg renamed its council chambers after her. Arman Rahman reports.
And with that, Frances Huntley Cooper's impact was forever ingrained in Fitchburg.
I can't imagine this community without Frances Huntley Cooper.
But one thing still remains at the front of her mind.
I hope that this continues to keep the doors open to support people of color.
She started opening those doors as Wisconsin's first black mayor up until only last year, when Milwaukee's mayor was elected.
I didn't know when I ran. I wasn't thinking about the first female or the first black mayor. I wanted to do a good job because that's the way I was raised. My grandmother said, you know, if you don't do it, you need to be able to do a job well or don't do it at all.
It seemed good job is an understatement, based on remarks from state leaders like Governor Evers.
Your efforts and involvement over the years have been instrumental in making our state a more just, inclusive, and equitable place that all of us call home.
Huntley Cooper's accomplishments include being chair of the Madison Area Technical College Board, president of Madison's NAACP branch, and even a delegate for President Barack Obama during the 2008 Democratic National Convention.
This is history. And as it is history, it's a living history. And it needs to be articulated, especially to our youth.
And it's the future generation that she hopes her legacy lives on through.
And you can't give up, and you can't let other people deter you from reaching your goal.
The plaque declaring the Frances Huntley Cooper Common Council Chambers was donated by Tempo of the Madison Foundation, which Huntley Cooper served as president on from 2001 to 2002.
Armand, thank you. And new tonight, a newly installed food pantry at a local library is proving to be very popular. This is at Madison's Goodman South Library. First opened just last week, and within a few days, all of the food had been claimed. This week, a librarian we spoke with says they asked River Food Bank to stock up 2 or 3 times as much food to make sure anyone who needs it can get it. Still ahead at 10 in sports, a closer look at tonight's disappointing loss for the Badgers down in Chicago.
But first, Gary will have his updated forecast as the snow moves back into Wisconsin.
All you have to do is point.
Yes! 1-800-GOT-JUNK can make it disappear.
And that's why they all start dancing.
Woo!
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK
or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
There are so many things we take for granted. So many things. And along with them, sometimes we take the people who depend on them for their survival for granted too. the elderly, disabled, the veterans, people on limited and fixed incomes, or folks that lost jobs in sectors hardest hit during the pandemic. How can they survive with record increases in their basic cost of living? Some people just can't come back. And through no fault of their own, they're being left behind, struggling to keep their heat, water, and power on. If you or someone you know needs a hand up, our heat, water, and power providers are working together to keep you safely in your home. You may not ask for it, but we're here to help.
So with a Planet Fitness Black Card, I'll get a post-workout glow like that guy?
Everybody knows that you need to glow, the glow, the glow.
And I get a free Amazon Halo to track my fitness and sleep.
Cause when you got the glow, there is no stopping what you want to do. Oh.
And I can bring a friend.
It's a way of life.
Okay, sign me up.
Sign up for the PF Black Card for $1 down, $24.99 a month, and get a free Amazon Halo View. Ends March 15th. It's glow time.
Two candidates for Supreme Court. Two very different beliefs. Judge Janet Protasewicz. She believes women should have the freedom to make their own decisions on abortion. Extremist Dan Kelly. He supports the 1849 law that takes away women's rights and criminalizes abortion, even in cases of rape, incest, and health of the mother. So who represents you? An extremist or a common sense judge? Vote by April 4th.
All you have to do is point.
Yes! 1-800-GOT-JUNK can make it disappear.
And that's why they all start dancing.
Woo!
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
Or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
Octavia Spencer brings the excitement. You're known for your expressions. I can't hide what I'm thinking. That last one was free stuff. Get ready for her biggest reaction yet.
On the next Jennifer Hudson Show at 3.
You're watching News 3 Now at 10.
Welcome back. Federal safety regulators are investigating Tesla over steering wheels that can reportedly fall off. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration is examining the 2023 Model Y SUV. The probe is a step the agency takes before ordering a recall. It comes after at least 2 instances in which owners said their steering wheels became detached while the vehicle was being driven. New tonight, a recall notice for anyone who purchased an office chair at Marshall's, TJ Maxx, or Home Goods. Nearly 82,000 of these chairs are being recalled due to a problem with the backrest, which can detach from the base. A dozen people have reported it's happened to them, with 10 of them saying it caused an injury.
If you have allergies, well, you may already feel it. We're seeing a record early start to the pollen season. It is currently hitting the southern and eastern U.S. earlier this year than ever before. Waves of the yellow and green dust are flooding the air and coating everything from car windshields to sidewalks. And one last reminder, tomorrow is the day. News 3 Now is once again partnering with the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund and Energy Service, Inc. for a day of warmth. It's a telethon and donation drive to raise money for those in need all across the state. It'll be held tomorrow afternoon between 4 and 6:30, but you can donate ahead of time.
Can I go on a limb tomorrow, Gary, say the allergy issue won't be too much?
I think we're okay.
We have other things to worry about besides allergies. Although I'm sure pollen. Yeah, our time will come, I'm sure. But tomorrow, it's not pollen, it's snow. Let's start out by taking a look at our first warned weather alert days. We've had them in the forecast for several days now. We put them in actually on Monday afternoon to watch the storm, and it's still right on track. We really haven't changed very much. We've upped the snow totals a little bit from the initial projections. We're now thinking about a 6 to 9 inch snowfall generally across southern Wisconsin. Still looking at later tomorrow afternoon through early Friday morning. Most of the accumulating snow will be done with by about maybe 8 or 9 o'clock at the very latest on Friday morning, and all of southern Wisconsin is going to be affected. Winter storm warnings in effect west of a Platteville to Lone Rock to Wisconsin Dells line from noon tomorrow until 6 a.m. Friday morning for southwestern Wisconsin. Areas north of the Dells, it starts a little bit later, 3 p.m. through 6 a.m. on Friday morning. East of their winter weather advisories, 2 p.m. to 6 a.m. for Madison, Dane County and areas to the south and west, north and east of Dane County into the Milwaukee area. Those advisories start at 6 p.m. and run until 9 a.m. on Friday morning. Now, as we take a look at future track, this begins at noon tomorrow. Already probably starting to see some light snow into southwestern Wisconsin, but with temperatures in the mid to upper 30s, we're probably looking at a mixture of rain and snow at least. But as we head into the afternoon, this is 6 p.m., notice how the snow overspreads all of southern Wisconsin. Those temperatures near or below freezing. It's a couple places like Madison, maybe a degree or two above, but that's still cold enough to get snow all the way down to the ground. And the snow will continue pretty steadily through the evening and overnight hours. This is where the heavier bands of snow are likely to come through. Now, as we get to midnight, notice already in parts of eastern Iowa, west of the Mississippi River, the snow starting to become a little more spotty in nature. And as we head through the overnight hours, those temperatures right around or just below freezing. The snow starts to pull out early on Friday morning. So the accumulating snow by early Friday morning probably confined to, say, Dodge and Jefferson and Walworth counties. To the west, again, more spotty precipitation and maybe just snow flurries. And by noon, pretty much all the snow is over with, although those temperatures are going to hold nearly steady in the middle 20s through the day. Snowfall, again, we're thinking somewhere in the neighborhood of about 6 inches, maybe 9 inches in parts of south central Wisconsin. The national blend of models showing the earlier update at 8 a.m. showing perhaps about 8.9 inches at the 50 percentile. The newest update, 8.3 inches. These have come down just a little bit, but I'm still thinking a good 6, 7, 8 inches across most of south central Wisconsin from this storm. Again, winter storm warnings are western viewing area, winter weather advisories elsewhere. This is from tomorrow afternoon into early Friday morning. Look for a high tomorrow of 38. Again, a mixture of rain and snow early, and then that changes over to mainly snow by late afternoon. So planning your day across Dane County, 35 for the high in Windsor, 35 in Cross Plains, 38 degrees in Middleton. Across the rest of south central Wisconsin, 37 in Janesville, 35 in Monroe. The farther west you get, the colder it is. And then as we look at that snowfall potential, again, about 6 to maybe 8 or 9 inches through most of south central Wisconsin. Our first warned 7 to 10 day forecast. After the snow ends, cold weather for the weekend. Another weather system brings perhaps an inch or two of snow Saturday night into Sunday. Some snow showers on Monday, but temperatures stay cold for most of next week. We're back up seeing temperatures close to normal by next weekend.
And coming up in sports, Badgers bounced by the Buckeyes in the Big Ten tournament. What Tyler Wall had to say about his team's performance, that's next on News 3 Now.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
At Stanton Optical, independent eye doctors are available for eye exams whenever you need one. You should have seen me before I got mine. You're so quiet. Are you mad at me? Book your free same-day eye exam at Stanton Optical today.
This is Ford Truck Month, America. Time to get up and get into Ford F-150, part of F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 46 years straight. All amped up and ready for work or play. Plus, there's a great selection in stock and ready for delivery today. So get into Ford Truck Month and see what a built Ford tough truck can do for you. Now, choose FlexBuy on a 2022 F-150 with 2.9% APR financing for 66 months and $1,000 FlexBuy cash plus $1,000 Ford credit cash.
You've got places to be, things to do, goals to crush. So at Basecamp Fitness, we pack 50 minutes worth of calorie burn into just 35. How do we do it? By switching between 60-second intervals of air bike cardio and strength training to keep the workout and your progress moving forward fast, no matter what level you're at. Take a free class, join, and get a $100 Lululemon gift card through March 31st. Visit any of our 3 Madison locations or basecampfitness.com.
The world's largest consumer bicycle show, Bike-O-Rama, is this weekend at Madison's Alliant Energy Center.
Spring is coming, so is the 27th annual Bike-O-Rama, and admission is free.
Dozens of factory reps from all the major brands will be on hand to answer your questions about the new 2023 models.
All at the lowest prices of the year.
Test ride e-bikes on the huge indoor test track.
Clothing, helmets, parts, and accessories up to 90% off. Half-price inner tubes.
All bicycles include free local service.
The 27th annual Bike-O-Rama at Madison's Alliant Energy Center.
This weekend starts Friday at noon through 6 o'clock Sunday.
Chicago. Celebrating 25 years of Broadway razzle-dazzle. The Associated Press calls Chicago the most entertaining musical of the decade. Paint the town again with Chicago the Musical.
At Overture, March 21st through 26th. Tickets at overture.org.
Sexual assault of an 11-year-old.
no prison time. He raped a military veteran, left her for dead. Just 2.5 years. Raped a mentally disabled 14-year-old. Probation. How the heck did this happen? Janet Protasewicz.
If you could go back in time, would you have ruled any differently? I would say no.
Really? No time in prison?
I would say no.
Protasewicz set violent criminals free. Again and again. Tell Judge Protasewicz, stop protecting criminals.
Stanton Optical is the best value in eye care. We did the math, people. For $79, you get all this. That costs over $400 at Lens Crafters, over $200 at Walmart, and over $150 at America's Best. When it comes to value, Stanton Optical is the top bird.
Wisconsin entered the Big Ten tournament with no margin for error. They're on Joe Lunardi's last four outline. Now, the only way they can help themselves is to win and stay on the right side of the bubble. And it all starts with Ohio State. But the thing we know about this team, they never make it easy on themselves. Down by as many as 27, and here come the Badgers. Chucky Hepburn splashes home the triple to make it an 8-point game. And then later, it's Tyler Wall banking home another three. They'd get as close as 4 points, but it's one and done in the Big Ten tourney for Wisconsin. They fall 65-57.
I mean, it hurts because we knew what we were getting ourselves into. We knew the position we put ourselves into, and we had to come out here and win a game. And we definitely did not start with the urgency that we needed to. I do like the way that we fought back, but at the end of the day, we just got to be better.
Wisconsin women's hockey and the NCAA tournament go hand in hand. This trip is UW's 10th straight, but the goal isn't just to get to this point for such a storied program. It's to win it all. Britta Curl has a pair of national championships to her name and hopes to win another. As far as the captain's message leading up to Thursday's puck drop, the Badger forward plans on doing it exactly how it went down during her freshman season when they won it all.
I don't think there was ever anything said. I think it was just a feeling in the locker room that everyone had, just kind of like this peace that everyone had before we, got into those games. So I think if we have it, we have it. I don't think there's anything I need to say or the coaches are going to say that's going to change that. There just has to be a belief and a sense of confidence, and I think we can definitely do it.
On the mat, Wisconsin is 8 days away from the NCAA championships, and Dean Hamady is heading to Tulsa on a roll. The Badger sophomore is fresh off winning the 165-pound title at the Big Ten championships, where he dominated his weight class. And if you asked his head coach, Chris Bono, if Hamady's ready to make some noise on college wrestling's biggest stage, well, his answer probably has a national champion in it.
He's wrestling the best he's ever wrestled all year, and the momentum that he has right now is unbelievable. He thinks he's going to be the national champ, and that's 99% of it, is believing you can do it, and believing you can do it after you put a performance up like that is something special. So he's ready to go.
And we're back after this.
Have you heard? We've outgrown our space again. Save up to half off floor samples and special orders at Dwellings Construction Sale. Dwellings, interior design and home furnishings. Still Madison's best kept $150 secret.
Good news, this just in. Your Ford dealers have fresh shipments of their award-winning SUV lineup in stock and ready for you to drive home today. Get your hands on a new Ford, the #1 brand in SUV owner loyalty, including Bronco Sport with standard GOAT modes, and Explorer, America's all-time best-selling SUV. And now, here's more good news. Choose FlexBuy on Escape and get 2.9% APR financing for 66 months plus $1,500 FlexBuy cash.
I'm Ken Pearrett, and this is my John Deere. We run about 3,000 acres of crop ground and 100 head of beef cattle. #1 thing that stands out when it comes to Sloan's is service. And we had some issues with the new ExactEmerge planter, and Kyle himself, the store manager, and one of the lead mechanics on the planters, came down on a Sunday afternoon, and they got us going. And that's going above and beyond. And that's why I think Sloan's first.
At no fault of their own during the cold, thousands of Wisconsin residents in your community make the difficult choice between eating or heating their home. On March 9th, please join News 3 Now and support a day of warmth, benefiting the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund. 90 cents of every dollar donated is used to help those in crisis. Give the gift of warmth. For more information, visit kwwf.org/donate. A day of warmth, sponsored by Viridian Homes and Kaiser Lincoln.
Remember this, and the false elector scheme. In Wisconsin, extremist Dan Kelly was the right-wing lawyer behind the scenes of it all. The bipartisan January 6th Commission revealed Kelly advised Trump operatives as special counsel to overturn the will of the people and overthrow the election results. Kelly even went on tour promoting the big lie. On April 4th, vote like democracy depends on it, because it does.
Habitat Restore is full of great finds at great prices for a great cause. With a unique inventory of high-quality, low-cost goods, you can save money and feel good about your purchase. Shop Restore Dane County today.
At Lawton Cates, justice means helping with your medical bills, standing up to the insurance company, and demanding compensation for lost time at work. And there's never a fee until we deliver results for you. Your life counts. Lawton Cates.
Have you heard? We've outgrown our space. Again! Save up to half off floor samples and special orders at Dwellings Construction Sale. Dwellings, interior design and home furnishings. Still Madison's best kept $150 secret.
Channel 3000 Plus. Watch from your streaming media player or mobile device.
You're watching News 3 Now at 10.
And Gary's back with a look ahead to his Thursday tradition.
Yeah, another storm. Well, it wasn't a bad day today, and temperatures are still pretty comfortable out there. 36 in Madison, 36 in Janesville, 36 at the Baraboo Dells Airport here in Dane County, 36 in Perry, 36 in Belleville. That seems to be a common number, 36 in McFarland. Look for mostly cloudy skies overnight, low temperature dropping to about 32. Tomorrow, we see a mix of rain and snow developing in the early afternoon, changing to snow late in the day as temperatures drop off. And again, winter storm warnings for our western viewing area, winter weather advisories elsewhere for about 6 to perhaps as much as 9 inches of snow through early Friday morning.
We'll keep you updated throughout the day tomorrow. Thanks for joining us, folks.
Do something good. We'll see you back here tomorrow.